When our school closure began in mid-March last year, we had no idea that the closure would last until the end of the academic year. We certainly didn't have any idea that it would be a possibility we'd be remote in the coming year. One of the questions that came up right from the beginning was, how do we even create our space in a way that's healthy and safe for our students coming back in the fall?
I have a lot of anxiety about it, and I've been agonizing over the decision. Most people that I've talked to are not going to send their children to school in the fall. Our family doctor and a very close friend of mine, both after I explained the outdoor classrooms here, thought, well, that would be the only safe way to send the kid to school.
With the academic year about to begin, schools across the country are wrestling with how to bring students back safely, even as COVID case numbers continue to rise. Many schools are considering using outdoor space to create social distance. At the Detroit Waldorf School, teachers and parents have been laying foundations for outdoor shelters they hope to complete by the first day of classes.
Like all projects, we're having some last-minute debate about certain aspects of the shelters. Do we have budget to build floors, for instance?
We're knowing coming into this year that it's possible that we need to have every single class in our school separated from one another. The idea of building outdoor classrooms became something that for our school seemed to make sense. So some parents came together, including architects and landscapers, and it really came from these volunteer parents who said, well, why don't we look at the grounds of the school? How could we lay out spaces for every class to be? Now in our school, we still have all of our classrooms indoors, and we're prepared to split classes in half if we need to inside, keep classes isolated inside if we need to. But with the outdoor shelters for each class, now we have one more space for every single class to utilize as another option. This fall, if we are able to open, if it's safe to open, we'll have students coming in onto our campus and being outside potentially for most of the school day.
The school is fundraising to buy supplies, but they're also making do with what they already have, dismantling playground equipment so they can use pieces on different parts of the school grounds.
None of the buildings, school buildings in our country, were built to accommodate kids 6 feet apart. And so outdoor spaces have the benefit of being able to spread children out further, to breathe air that's already fresh and, as some epidemiologists tell us, is 20 times less likely to transmit the virus. At the same time, equity is at the center of all the work we're doing, because we see that kids who are most vulnerable already are not being served very well, despite school districts' best efforts, are not being served well by online learning, if they're not even turning their computers on. Greening schoolyards is a 30-year-old movement in the United States, but I would say that's probably only maybe 15% of the schools in the country that have tried it on site themselves. But we're also seeing the other 85% of schools in the country looking for solutions, finding that online learning isn't working for them and that they don't have space inside, and more are coming to this idea. So it's been really heartening to see the exponential growth in interest for this. And I think that this is an idea whose time has come. I can say there's at least 25 cities where this is happening across the country. And we know that there are schools doing this and planning to do this from the north in Vermont to the south in Texas. And those have very different climate conditions. And so we're thinking that schools will use the outdoors when the weather is best for them.
We have seasons here in Michigan, real seasons. The summer can be hot and humid, and the winter can be very cold and icy and snowy. And there will be days though where there aren't classes in those shelters, certainly, based on just because of the weather. There are concerns that we have. To do in-person learning is something during a time of a global pandemic that needs to be done following every safety measure that can be followed. If it's not safe to open, we will do remote learning. But if it is safe enough to open, we'll follow the safety protocols, but then we also really need to be keeping in mind that our job, our essential job as a school and as teachers, is to allow for students to be in an environment where they're growing in healthy ways. I think I can speak for teachers in saying that we're pretty good at being flexible and being patient. And this whole process has been about flexibility and patience.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.